What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the live stream. Welcome to the show. Happy Monday to you. Thank you so much for stopping by. My name is Josh, and today we are talking about Carnival Cruise Line moving all of their cruise ships to Miami and the Bahamas. They're moving it right to the water off of Miami because they're doing some crew transfers. As you guys know, they are taking their crew members home. Several of the cruise lines are doing this, but I think it's pretty unique what Carnival is doing. They're actually moving all of their ships, all, 25, 26 of them or whatever, to the waters off of Miami and the Bahamas. It's making for quite an interesting story, and so I thought we'd take a live look today at the marine traffic and see just exactly where some of the ships are at. Some ships that have not been in Miami in years, possibly like decades, are going to be in Miami in the next couple days, and I think it's going to be a really, really cool sight to see. So I want to give you guys some pointers on where you can check that out. We're going to take a look at it today, and of course we'll talk about some cruise news and any other questions you guys have today. So a big welcome to you. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you're watching this on a rewatch, this is a live stream, so you're watching this on a replay. We'll be interacting with the comments. However, feel free, drop down below in the chat or the comment section exactly where you're watching from and which ship you would like to see. I'm hoping that we'll get a schedule in the next couple of days to kind of tell exactly when the ships are going to be where. Ships like the Carnival Vista, one of my personal favorites, is currently in Miami. We'll take a look at that one here in just a second. And there's some ships coming from the West Coast, some ships coming up from the Caribbean. So it's a really, really, really cool sight to see. I want to walk it through with you guys and check it out. But let me know, how are you doing today? How is Monday going for you? Is it treating you well? I hope that it is. As for, what did you do this weekend as well? As for me, I actually got to go. Lauren's family has a beach place, and so we were able to go down. We went down and cleaned it up a little bit for her grandmother. That way she can come down and, we kind of wiped everything down and disinfected and everything. But I did get a little bit of sun while we were down there. The weather wasn't that good most of the time, so we really only got to go out onto the actual beach yesterday. But having your report, people still were practicing social distancing. They were like, people were so spread out down the beach. It was really, really cool. We were able to just kind of hit the volleyball around a little bit, just have some fun, and maybe forget about everything that's going on in the world for a half an hour. It was really, really nice, and I would suggest if you guys have the opportunity to do something like that, maybe even just going outside, going outside with your family and tossing the football around or whatever in the backyard or in the field beside where you live or whatever. I would suggest you do it. I think we all could use a mental escape right now with everything going on. So definitely do that if you have the opportunity. I want to say hello to everybody watching today. I see all of your live comments. We're going to get to the marine traffic first for those people that are just here to see the news and everything, and then we'll come and say hello to the comments. I do want to get the first in the chat, though. First person up today was Blaine 2007. He says, hey all. Hey Blaine, how are you doing, buddy? I hope that you're well. We'll come and say some hellos, like I said, here in just a few minutes, guys. Also, the Super Chat box is now turned on. I just turned it on. The PayPal box is turned on, so if you want to give to the stream, you want to donate to the stream anyway, you can do that. There's information for that in the description box below. All right, let's check it out. So let's see where some of the ships are. So I'm going to put it up on the screen for you right now. There it is. So here is marine traffic. We've looked at this app once or twice before. I like to reference it a lot. It's a great app. They're not paying me to say any of this. I just think when it's a great tool and it has great features like this, you guys need to know about it, right? So you'll see it here. I am moving my thumb around, and that's what you guys are seeing. It's just a mirrored screen here. All the blue dots that you see are cruise ships. The last time we looked at it, I had everything turned on. You can see multiple different types of ships. You can see tankers. You can see, cargo ships. You can see yachts. You can see small fishing vessels. Even some military vessels. Sometimes those pop up on here. So you just have to filter it. But right now I've filtered it for just the cruise ships. So all the blue dots that you see are cruise ships. You'll see here is the East Coast right here. Now, keep in mind, I'm sorry, all the blue dots are passenger ships. Yes, there is not a cruise ship up here in Chicago. Sorry, Cody, buddy, you're not going to get that close, unfortunately. All of the blue dots are passenger vessels, okay? But down here off the coast of Florida, you'll see it starts to get really, really packed. That is all of our cruise ships, all of our cruise vessels hanging out off the coast of Florida. We will pull into Miami, and like I mentioned, we're going to see a really, really cool friend. Haven't seen in some times. One of my favorites here. Is it this one? No, that's the Norwegian Epic, although that ship is also not normally there. Carnival Vista, right there she is. Carnival Vista. She came from Galveston over to, she's currently in Miami doing a refueling stop and a provisioning stop. So she's basically bringing on, all the food and supplies and everything like that. Definitely not near the volume of what they normally and typically would bring on board, with when they had passengers on board and such. But still, doing it. Let me see which way I need to go. This way. Still doing a provisioning stop, nonetheless. And then she will be going off the coast to the Bahamas. Now, off the coast of the Bahamas, there's several clusters of ships here. Let's see, let me pull out here so we can come over. So down here, these right here, these are MSC cruise ships. So MSC's Ocean K, or Ocean Key, should I say, is right here. So I think the Preziosa is currently docked. And then we have the Seaside, the Meraviglia, and the Divina, I believe, down here. Yes, so that's where MSC is holding up their fleet for now anyway. They were holding just off the coast of Miami, but now they've decided to go to their private island. I think that kind of makes more sense anyway. It's their waters, they own it. Why not, right? Over here is, a lot of the cruise ships are clustered together. We've already known this. We know that they're doing this over here right beside Cocoa Key. There's a huge, huge plot of cruise ships currently anchored, or actually looks like there's one, Seven Seas Explorer, currently docked at Cocoa Key today. Unfortunately, they're probably not enjoying the water slides and all of that fun stuff, but they are docked. They are able to at least, stop the ship for a little bit. Probably, I imagine they're probably able to get off at least on the pier. I know that's the case down in St. Martin. There's several cruise ships that are heading that way, and they're calling the pier a safe zone, and so they're able to get off onto the pier, not able to go onto the island, but at least they're able to touch dry land for a little bit. That has, it's got to be hard on the crew members for sure. But what they're going to be doing, there's an article that was put out. Who put it out? I think it was Cruise Hive that put it out. I give credit to them. Give credit where credit is due. But basically what's going to happen is, so all of these cruise ships are going to be coming from their respective home ports, whether that be New Orleans, whether that be Galveston, that could be the West Coast, you have Los Angeles, Long Beach, wherever, even Charleston, South Carolina. They're going to be coming down to around the Miami, the Bahamas area. And what's going to happen is they're going to do a ship-to-ship transfer. So they're going to take the tender boats that you and I would normally use to get onto land in Grand Cayman or in Half Moon Cay, etc. And they're going to transfer crew from one ship to another, from the Carnival Vista to several other designated ships. We've talked about those, I think on Wednesday we talked about those, what ships those are, and what's going to be happening there. There's like 5 or 6 ships that are going to be actually taking the crew members home. Carnival Breeze is one, Carnival Glory, the Carnival Fantasy, the Carnival Magic, Carnival Panorama, and I think maybe one more that I can't think of right now. But anyway, they're going to be taking the crew members home all around the world. Carnival Panorama already on her way. She's heading to the Philippines and Indonesia right now to drop off a lot of crew members from there. But so what is happening is they're going to be taking all of these crew members to meet out in the waters off the Bahamas because, there's very strict travel restrictions right now with the airports and crew members on the cruise ships. And so, not only that, I imagine it's probably really, really not cost efficient for the cruise lines to have to fly. I mean, you're talking, what, 2,000 maybe? Maybe a little bit under crew members. I mean, I don't know if all of those are on board right now. So let's say 1,000. Let's say you have 1,000 crew members per cruise ship that are still on board. I mean, that's just an even number. That's a lot of crew to fly home, to charter flights to fly them home. So, and then on top of that, in some of the cases, they're still having to pay some of the crew. The deckhands and the captain, obviously, and the first mates and all that kind of stuff. They're still having to, or the officers, they're still having to pay them. So, big expenditures right now that they probably don't want to do more unnecessary expenses. Now, one question for me was, is it that much cost savings to take a ship like the Carnival Miracle or the Carnival Inspiration or Imagination, which over here on the West Coast, so this is Mexico right here, this is Baja California, right here, let me see if I can click on it, the Carnival Imagination currently on her way to Panama. So we have to assume that the Carnival Imagination, right behind her I think is the Miracle, yeah, there's the Miracle, and then I think this is the Inspiration right here, yes. So all three of those heading down to the Panama Canal to then make their transit through the canal. So you have to assume that they're heading to Miami to meet up with the rest of this convoy, right? So is it that much more cost efficient to take a ship from California all the way down to the Panama Canal, through the Panama Canal, pay for those fees? I don't know that Panama's waiving the travel or the transit fees. I can't imagine why they would. I mean, it'd be nice of them, but you know what? There's not really an incentive for Panama to do that. So pay the Panama Canal transit fee, come through the Caribbean and up to the Bahamas just to transfer your crew members while no paying passengers are on board. I don't know. That kind of seems that's a bit much. I guess it's got to be less than flying the crew members home, but still, you have to wonder. So yeah, so that is what's going on. I think it makes it quite interesting. What do you guys think? Do you think that this is probably more cost effective for them to move the ships to the Bahamas than just to fly the crew members directly home? What do you guys think? Cody P here says, Carnival Imagination left Mobile. They are heading to the Bahamas. I think you mean the Fantasy. I think you mean the Fantasy, buddy. The Fantasy was in Mobile. Let's see if we can find it. Oh, so that's just a passenger. Oh, let me bring it up on the screen so you guys can see it. Let's see. Boop. There you go. Let's see. I don't know that we'll be able to find the Fantasy right now. What's these down here? Oh, there it is. Right there. Carnival Fantasy. Yeah, so see, USMOB to NAS. So it looks like it's heading to Nassau, according to marine traffic. I don't know how true that is. Currently, there are no ships in Nassau. Norwegian was kind of holding their crew there. But now there isn't people in Nassau right now. But yeah, so that one, let's see, it's got a speed of 9.8 knots, so moving really, really slow. And that's the other thing, is the Imagination and the Miracle and the Inspiration all over here on the West Coast, they're moving very slowly. Let's see. Let's click on, oh, that one can't be seen. Let's see, how about this one? Imagination, yeah, so 7.4 knots. 7.4 knots, guys. That's slow. That is slow. Typically, your cruise ship runs about anything from 12 to 20 knots. Like if you really got to get somewhere, I mean, they can go a little faster than 20. Some of them can go, maybe 8 knots faster or so. But for the most part, the cruise ships, they try not to go faster than 20 knots. Then you just really start eating the fuel costs. So, really, really interesting to me that they could be bringing these ships to the East Coast. I'd love to hear, what do you guys think about that? Do you think that's what they're doing? Why else would they be going to the Panama Canal? That is my assumption, is that they're taking them over to meet up with the ship. So obviously they're going to be transferring crew there, and then like I said, several of the other cruise ships, the Breeze, the Glory, the ones we just named, they'll be taking them to Europe, to Africa, to South America, to places in the Caribbean, to eventually drop those crew members off, get them home so they can be with their families and not just kind of sitting on the cruise ship. At this point, all the cleaning, the deep cleaning that they were doing, when we first started this whole process, has been taken care of. They have deep cleaned and then deep cleaned again and then deep cleaned one more time. So at this point, I think the deep cleaning is probably over with. It's finished. They're just sitting there on the ship, taking up the cabin space, eating the food, and the cruise lines are finally like, okay, this is we've got to get these people home so they can be with their families and things like that. Carnival's not the only one doing this. Holland America also doing this. Princess also doing this. I have not heard if Royal Caribbean is doing this yet. No news to my understanding from them doing it, or Norwegian. But if this continues, I do see that happening. I do see them, taking the crew home. Right now, pretty much for all cruise lines, the pause in operations is to about July. Some of them is a couple days before, but for the most part, it's to about July, and that's for most of the world. Certain areas maybe still starting a little bit later, and certain ships maybe starting much later. Carnival Sunrise, for example, right now, she was due to be in New York, and I know they've canceled New York, I think, till like November or something. So could be a lot longer for them, unfortunately. We're gonna come over and say some hellos, answer your questions. If you guys do have any, drop them. I'd love to talk with you and chat with you for about 15 more minutes. If you have some time, let me know. What are you doing? What are you having for lunch today? What are your big plans for the day? I'd love to chat with you for just a minute, and then we'll say ciao. Andrew Moore says, what app is this? It's called Marine Traffic. So it's a really, really great app. I love it. Not sponsored to say it. They're not paying me to show you guys this app or anything. I just think it's a great, great app. Like I said, it's called Marine Traffic. So they do have a, there it is right there. You can see, just Google Marine Traffic, and it should be the top result. They do have an app, like an App Store app. I think that's paid, but the web version is actually is free. Also, if you guys want to see where any ship is, just let me know, and we can look it up here on the stream in the next few minutes. Okay. I want to say some hellos. Hello, Lisa and Bob. How are you, Kelly? Kelly's cruising again. We've got Evan 13 in the house. Cody P, one of our moderators. Hey, buddy. Joey Miller. There's Blaine. Like we said, he was the first in the chat today. We've got Christine Smotherman. Hello to you. There's Mama K, Deborah Luss, Mr. Cruise Fever's with us. Laura Heyer, Susan White, Kazman. Hello to you. Gary Heavens here with us. Carnival Vista 275. Sever use Snap for Life says, hey Josh, I am a huge fan of yours at Mama Hocum. Thank you so much for that. I certainly do appreciate it. Welcome to you. Hey, Britt and Gavin. Let's see, we've got Judy Cole here with us. Cochita Herrera. Hello from Miami Beach. Hello to you. Wow, I'd love to be in Miami Beach right now. Christina says, watching on my lunch break. What are you having for lunch? What are you having? I haven't had lunch yet. I'm going to have it as soon as the stream is over. Tim Johnson, hello to you, buddy. Linda D, Kelly G, Amanda Dean, Evelyn, and Lady Joy A, JC, Jasper. Welcome to all of you guys. Thank you so much for stopping by. All right, I'm going to jump down here to the bottom here. Gary says, I think it shows cruises won't start anytime in the near future. Even June, I bet, will be iffy, and not all ships will be cruising day one. Gary, look, I totally agree with you, buddy. I really, really do. I think you are so right in that assessment. It does kind of have me questioning, will cruises even resume in July? Because, I mean, it is the latter part of April right now. It's getting ready to be May. Crew members are due back in, I mean, if cruising were to resume in July, they'd have to be back at the end of June. They can't come back right as. I'm sure they'd have to refresh the training and all of that. Update policies. Here's what's going to be new and changed. So with that, you have to wonder if the cruise lines are foreseeing this going longer than what it's even currently forecasted. Because, and then the other question becomes, okay, so you're taking the crew members home by ship. Are you then going to come back and pick them up? Like the Carnival Panorama. We'll look at the Carnival Panorama really quick because I know that she has been sailing now for some time. So let me see here if I can pull up the Carnival Panorama. But she is, I mean, they literally took that ship from the West Coast, Los Angeles. They are taking it all the way across the Pacific. I think this is her right here. Yeah, this is the 3. Okay, it's not going to show us what the ships are. But this is Carnival Panorama, a Princess ship, and a Holland America ship. Here they are. Let's see. So there's China and Japan, and there's where the ships are. So they're literally about halfway there. Right? And they have been going. I mean, they left sometime last week. I think it was early last week that they left. So, I mean, that's a long trip to take with, again, no revenue on board. No paying passengers anywhere. On any of the ships, no paying passengers. The only revenue that the cruise lines are receiving right now is new bookings from you and I that are planning for the future, right? There's no casino revenue. There's no bar revenue on board. Nothing like that. No gratuities, nothing. So that's a lot to commit to with no revenue on board. I think it makes it quite interesting, and it does beg the question, okay, they're doing this. What do they know that we don't know? What are they seeing that we don't see? You know? I don't know. That's just what I've been thinking with it. Anthony Lyon says, why all ships on the West Coast to the East Coast? They could transfer on West to one ship and head east. Is something else up? I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I wanted to hear from you guys and see what you guys thought. I thought it's very interesting that they're taking all 3 of the West Coast ships. Well, 3 out of the 4. The 4th one's the Panorama, and she's, you know, off to Asia. But the Miracle, the Inspiration, and the Imagination, all 3 heading to the Panama Canal. Why else would they be heading to the Panama Canal right now? There's no cruises happening. There's nothing going on in the Panama Canal. I don't know. I just can't. It doesn't make much sense to me why all 3 would be heading to the Panama Canal unless they're all 3 heading to the East Coast to transfer crew members. But you do make a great point there. Why not just transfer all of the West Coast passengers onto one ship and then have that ship go to the East Coast? Seems like it would save on fuel. Maybe there's too many. It's hard to believe. I don't know. Maybe there is. That's a good question. Very good question, Anthony. Very, very good question. Lady Joy A says, I'm working from home but can't focus, so getting off work from home at 1:30. I hear you, Lady Joy. It's tough. It is tough doing work from home. It's so hard to keep motivated and stay on task when you just don't know what's going on. You don't know where we're going to be tomorrow. So I think it's important to take it one day at a time. That's what I've really been trying to tell myself is just take things one day at a time. Don't worry about next week. Don't worry about next month. It's so hard to do, especially in my line of work. You know, I'm constantly looking to the future, but I think it's important that we do. You have to take it slow, take it one day at a time, and try not to stress over what's going on because we can't change it. You know, you and I stressing over it, it's not going to change it. I know that's not the happiest news, and that's not going to make anybody feel a ton better, but you know, it is the unfortunate reality. And I think if we take it like that and you think about it like that, I think it's going to help everybody. You know, it's going to help with your stress levels. It's going to help you to focus a little bit. I don't know. That's just my advice. That's what I've been trying to do. You guys let me know what you've been trying to do to kind of get through. And lots of Netflix too. Lots of Netflix. That always helps for sure. Beach Please says Cruise Mapper is a free app that tracks ships also. Yeah, so Cruise Mapper is one. Vessel Finder is another one. I think there's 1 or 2 more out there. But anyway, yeah, there's several cool apps that tracks cruise ships. I like Marine Traffic. It's just always been the most reliable, I think, to me. Like when you talk about exactly where the ships are at, you know, real-time updates and that kind of thing, Cruise Mapper seems to be kind of the leader in that. But like I said, there are several out there, so just find the one that works for you. Evan Goldberg says, good morning. I missed the alert due to being busy with work. I'll catch up on the replay. Hey, Evan. Evan's over on the West Coast. So, yeah, I guess it's important to say good morning to my West Coast people. East Coast folks, you know, it's lunchtime for us. But our West Coast folks, good morning to you. Happy Monday. Welcome to the stay-at-home week. Another stay-at-home week. Actually, is anybody going back to work yet? I know several states have gone back to work. Scott Wilson, I don't think he's on right now because he's back to work. Anybody back to work yet? Let us know what state are you that's back to work, getting back to normal. How is it? what has changed, what's different. We'll talk more about that Wednesday night on Cruise Talk Live, and I hope to see all of you guys there. But yeah, let me know. Are you back to work yet? I'd love to hear. Paula Doom says, checking in. Hello, buddy. Good to see you. Queet Beat says, hi, Josh. Hello to you. Vicky Angelastro says, Panorama left Long Beach Saturday, April 18th in the evening. Yeah, so it's been a week now. So it's been a week, and she's still not there. So that's what I'm saying, guys. Like, that's... And I mean, they're not going full speed either, like I said. So it's taken probably a little bit longer than it normally would. But, I don't know. It's just kind of interesting to me. Very, very interesting. Let's see. JC says, one of my coworkers tested positive, so I had to be tested, and my wife. Last Friday we tested and still waiting for the results. The test is not fun, to say the least. I am so sorry about that. I hear that it's awful. I hear it is pretty awful. So I hope the best for you. Wishing you the best. Gosh, that's got, I heard they stick it all the way back to the back of your head almost or something. That's awful. Mary says, I've been working from home in Connecticut 7 weeks, no days off. Wow, I am sorry, Mary. I hate that for you. I really, really do. Let's see. Paul says, one of my family members is in Spain, an essential worker. Wow, that's crazy. Spain, I think Spain's doing a little better though, aren't they? I thought they were last that I heard. Kaylee Poole says, Michigan. Oh my gosh, the chat just jumped. She says, Michigan here. General Motors has talk of May 11th to May 18th. Yeah, right now, so here in North Carolina, they extended our, whatever you call it, the order thing to May 8th. And at that point, we would start phase 1. So, you know, you're still not supposed to go to work or anything like that until May 8th, potentially. And then on May 8th, phase 1 starts. And so then certain businesses can open back up. And then 2 to 3 weeks after that, another certain businesses can open back up. It's still no, stay at, healthcare or anything like that. And then after that, we would technically be in the clear, at least for now. But I don't know. Oasis and Harmony are off the coast of, let's see where they're at. They're not off Port Canaveral. They're a little bit north, actually. Let's see where Oasis... So, Oasis of the Seas and Harmony of the Seas. Let's see. Where's Safari? Let's see. Oh, that's China. That's not where we want to go. Ha! I don't think they're going to be over there. They better not be over there. That would be a long way away. So, yeah. So, down here is Port Canaveral. And up here is Harmony. So, they're off Daytona Beach. Harmony of the Seas right there. And Oasis of the Seas. Harmony's closer to Palm Coast. Oasis is basically parallel to Daytona Beach right there. So, yeah, I think it's kind of weird they're just sitting there. But, I mean, what more can they do, you know? I mean, it's kind of like the... It's kind of like down here in the Coco Key Club. I mean, they're all just kind of anchored there. Right here, I believe, is the Carnival Sunshine. So, really nice for that ship. I know the crew had to be going insane because the Carnival Sunshine, she's based out of Charleston. That ship docked in Charleston in March, whenever their last cruise, the beginning of March, and they did not leave. They didn't go out and do any sort of, freshwater ontake or anything. I think they were using the Charleston water hookups and such like that. But that ship has not left Charleston since this weekend. And now it's down here in the Bahamas. So I know they have got to be so, so happy. What little, I'm sure it's a skeleton crew, but what crew is left on board there, I know they've got to be jumping for joy because, like I said, man, can you imagine? I mean, just literally sitting in, I mean, Charleston's a beautiful place if you've been to Charleston, South Carolina. But to sit there in the harbor on a cruise ship for well over a month and just not, you can't get off the ship. The ship's not going anywhere. You're literally, I mean, it's basically like what we're doing, I guess. But I mean, I don't know. It just, whoo, I felt for that crew really, really bad. I'm glad that they were able to get down into the Bahamas. And like I said, so what they're going to be doing is transferring the crew from one ship to the other. It'll be interesting to see that happen. Now, the cruise line, Carnival Cruise Line, has said that they want that to happen no later than May the 1st. So, definitely in the next couple of days, we should be seeing that. But then again, that also begs the question. I mean, it's what? What's today? Today's the 27th. So, May the 1st, just a couple of days away. Is the imagination and the miracle and the inspiration, are they really going to be able to get from where they're at right now to the Bahamas by May the 1st? at the speed that they're going? I don't think so. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. We'll definitely probably do a check back in on Wednesday night and just see exactly where they're at and what they're doing, because I think it's very, very interesting that they're taking all 3 of their ships down to the Panama Canal. So far, no itinerary past Panama, but we will definitely have to keep an eye on it. Listen, guys, I'd like to thank you so much for chatting with us today, for hanging out. That is the news. More crew transfers, taking crew home. What does it mean for cruising coming back? I don't know, guys. I don't know. I'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comments section. Make sure you share the video with a friend. Share the video with somebody who has a cruise in July, because they might. They might, and they might not. As for myself, we will have to wait and see. Thank you so much for hanging out today, guys. Look, have a fantastic Monday. Have a fantastic work week, and we'll see you Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Special Time for Cruise Talk Live. My name is Josh. It's been real. It's been fun. It's been real fun. Bye-bye, everybody. Have a fantastic day.